It's midway through the autumn term, and Headmaster Barnaby Lennon takes the roll call of every boy at the school.
Jamie Dick Taylor, Chanlotta Teenham, Marna Naruna, Wild Truoff. Yes, sir.
Caring for 792 pupils 24 hours a day, Harrow takes pride in keeping them all as busy as possible.
It's when they're not busy that they have time to think about home, and we try very hard to literally not give them a free moment.
To really do well and to thrive at a school like Harrow, you have to be good at something. And it doesn't actually matter very much what it is that you're good at.
I don't know how it is that you can end up with quite so many extracurricular activities and work as well, academic commitments at the same time. When you're feeling quite optimistic, it's okay. And other times it feels awful and it all comes down on top of your head like a load of bricks.
Members of Albion House.
This term's play is occupying all 70 boys in the Park House.
Old boys, sit.
The housemaster wanted a play with lots and lots of people, so that they were all kept busy at various times.
Mr. Franklin has put together this term's production.
40 Years On is a play about the masters in a public school staging a play.
Let's see how it goes first. All right? Bottom of page 30.
I see pupils getting engaged in activities and achieving things that they certainly wouldn't if it wasn't for some sort of inter-house competition. I mean, how many adolescent boys would willingly stand up on a stage and sing? Not many in my experience. It happens because they're keen to beat the other house.
The Park's housemaster, Rob Collins, is a music lover, so he's keen that the boys do well in the inter-house singing contest known as the Glees and Twelves. The singing rehearsals are going well, but some boys are in rehearsals for the play, and one important tenor voice is missing.
Good. This school, this Albion House, this little huddle of buildings in a fold of the Downs.
Back at the theatre, Ben Owen Clark is watching a master class in the delicate schoolboy art of picking your nose.
It's a really difficult bit to get. Long way up there, okay? So by the time that the headmaster actually looks at you, your finger is halfway up your nose and really wrestling with it, okay? And then says, 30 years ago today, Tupper, and I want you to freeze with your finger there. God, I've been discovered, you know. The Germans marched into Poland and you're picking your nose. Pull it out like that. See me afterwards. Nod.
30 years ago today, Tupper, the Germans. That was absolutely repulsive. Oh.
That's showbiz, then.
The inter-house cross-country finals. After 5 earlier rounds, 2 houses, Drury's and Morton's, are neck and neck.
It's tight at the top, so the housemasters are down here urging the boys on, and the boys are trying to do their best in lots of mud and lots of rain and lots of cold.
Risking David Ellery's displeasure, one runner has failed to turn up on time. His assistant housemaster, Keith Metcalf.
Late, Mr.
These young beats, you can't rely on them. He's late every week. It's scandalous. How can you expect the boys to run when he's late?
Departmental meeting. Come on, at least I'm running, Mr. Ellery.
Well, quite right too. Now you've got to catch up. Get him going. Catch up. He arrived late as usual, but he's one of the best runners in the school, so he'll be there towards the end.
3.5 miles and over 20 minutes later, Drury's take a narrow lead over their rivals, Morton's.
We're in first place at the moment, so the boys can do really well to try and win the overall event.
Oh, bye for Mr. Barry.
Morton's housemaster, Simon Barry, gives his all to the cause.
You do it every week.
Only to learn that rival house Drury's have won by just 2 points.
It grieves me that
congratulations to them if that is so. They do all turn out and they do run hard.
Sport is something that I'm very keen on. Team spirit, house sport, school sport. I believe that a busy boy is a happy boy.
But in worsening weather, the happy boys are bailing out fast.
I'm going for a bath.
And the race isn't over. Slower boys are still out on the course.
Ich fing die Dutzend weiß für mich.
Say it again.
A German teacher is helping at the park. They may not have won the cross-country, but the singing team is sounding good.
We sang in Italian last year, and that was quite a winning formula because the adjudicator thought that it was very original. Everybody else sang in English. So we're trying the same sort of formulation, but in a different style.
Half an hour after the winners got home on the cross-country course, some boys are still struggling in for the glory of the house.
It's back to, I suppose, that perhaps old-fashioned thing, house spirit. Every boy will always tell you his house is the best. I think they prefer to feel they're also in a winning house. I mean, man likes to be a winner.
You mean the guy isn't here? So our numbers aren't taken down? We ran all this way for nothing.
In the theatre, some park house boys are still singing. But this time in last-minute rehearsals for their play. Everyone in the house is doing something. Costumes, lighting, props, or building the set.
I don't know this bit at all.
Well, the way to do that is to sing it once.
Ben Owen Clark's been missing rehearsals for the Glees and Twelves. He's struggling with 70 pages of dialogue for the play, his A-levels, his work with the Harrow Rifle Corps, practicing for the swing band and the choir. And that's without having to learn his lyrics in German. The contest is now just 1 week away. 14-year-old Luka Gakic is another boy who's busier than most. Luka is a refugee from the war-torn former Yugoslavia. At a state primary school, he won a full scholarship to Harrow. Luka's family lost almost everything in the war, and his entire education is now funded by the Beckwith Scholarship. The scheme even paid for 2 years at prep school to prepare him for public school life.
The Harrow fees, I suppose, are 15,000 or 16,000 a year. So if you add up 5 years at Harrow and 2 years at prep school, that's an enormous amount of money.
That money comes from a school governor who won a council scholarship to Harrow 40 years ago. Peter Beckwith now repays that debt by funding education for boys who, like himself, come from a modest family background.
One of the questions that Beckwith scholars' parents ask me more than any others is, am I going to be the only family who doesn't have a Rolls Royce at home, or are we going to be the only family that doesn't have a swimming pool in the garden? And the answer to that is absolutely not.
Nearly 200 boys apply to be tested each year for just 2 scholarship places on the Peter Beckwith scheme.
They would have to have an IQ of about 120 plus and really be very good at something else. So some of them are very good musicians, some of them are very good at art, some are very good at drama.
And some are very good at rugby. Luka Gakic is one of 7 boys from one house, all part of the under-16s team. They're unbeaten this year. They're the Morton's Magnificent 7. In 3 seasons, only one school has ever beaten this team. But today is a needle match. The team that beat them is coming back to Harrow. The only school ever to beat Luca and his teammates is heading back for a showdown. Royal Grammar School High Wycombe is a state school whose headmaster is Tim Dingle.
Our facilities are those of any state school. We don't have an indoor swimming pool, we don't have a sports pool of their size, and certainly we don't have the wonderful fields you see around you.
It's a vital match for both teams.
I hope in my heart that we win, and it would be nice to win by a few points. I suspect it will be very tight. I would say final score 20 points to 15 to the RGS.
The red shirts of RGS are sweeping all before them. Their headmaster's prediction looks like coming true, until a try-saving tackle from Luca. A prize catch for any Harrow housemaster.
Clearly a boy with an outstanding talent. You just welcome him with open arms at whatever stage.
It's the second half, and Harrow are starting to turn the tables. Victory to Harrow, 22-0. At the park, they're rehearsing the second section of the house singing contest, unaccompanied harmony known as the Glees. Last year, the boys won one of the two trophies. This year, they're determined to get both.
There's no chance for mountain where the brew is a juju. Got to do some drinking to get in the mood.
There's a lot at stake this time. To be able to win it again, or to get a double whammy to win both this time would be really, really good.
A builder up and out to put me in the mood. Very good. Well done. Yeah.
I have to say there's quite a lot of secrecy about what different houses do, so it won't be until we're really quite near to the competition that we've got any idea what other houses are doing or what sort of team they're going to field.
But it's hard to keep secrets among 800 boys.
Juries are usually a strong house, but this year I've heard they're not so good. They're attempting to do Bohemian Rhapsody for their 12, and it's not coming out so well, so I hear.
Easy come, easy go, will you let me go?
They've chosen a difficult song, which could impress the judges or go horribly wrong. They're having trouble learning the words.
You got wrong.
And it's a worry for the boy who's responsible for running the show.
There's a certain amount of blame to start with on me for choosing a song. In fact, I didn't choose it because I was away in Cambridge doing my Open Scholarship at the time. So I'm not entirely sure who did.
We'll tackle the first section, okay? From I See a Little Silhouette.
I see a little silhouette of a man, Scaramouche, Scaramouche, will you do the man?
I thought about changing it and attempted to suggest it, but was flatly refused. So it's everyone else's choice, really. Nothing to do with me.
It's the opening night of the Park House play. It's a nerve-wracking time for housemaster Rob Collins.
So we had a big dress rehearsal last night, and this is the real thing, and the place is humming.
I'm feeling a bit tense, finicky, but I think it's going to go okay.
I should be nervous too, on tenterhooks. I hope the prompter isn't needed to.
What can go wrong? In general terms, everything. In particular terms, costume changes, an actor will suddenly dry, unable to concentrate. You can find all sorts of little technical hitches happening.
Members of Albion House, this Albion House This little huddle of buildings in a fold of the Downs, home of a long line of English gentlemen, symbol of all that is most enduring in our hopes and traditions. 30 years ago today, Thomas, the Germans marched into Poland and you're picking your nose. Speaking afterwards. We are the
We rehearsed this a bit the other day. It's making sure you get the gap right. Okay, so...
Music master Philip Evans has arrived at Drury's house to help the boys with Bohemian Rhapsody.
Right, gentlemen, then let's get ourselves together and have another run through of the 12. All right.
Easy go, will you let me go? Bismillah, love, we're gonna let you go, let you go. Bismillah, we're gonna let you go, let you go.
Somebody is smoking! It's you, boy! No, sir. You mean yes, sir?
No, sir.
Truthfully me, sir. Smoking stunts the growth.
Right, sir.
Beelzebub and the devil put aside for me, for me, for me.
Yeah. Can we make a point, please, of not all starting to talk as soon as you stop singing? It struck me at the start that it sounded particularly raucous on the High Galileos, the first ones. It got better after that, but try not to sound too strangled, and if you really can't get there, then leave it to those that can and just mime it.
Now I've got to get ready for my Withers the Butler scene.
I feel more light-hearted than I've done for years.
I don't. The end of our world, Mercy. They're rolling up from that side.
Push me up.
It'll be in the history. Come along. I can't go yet. There's an air raid on it. I haven't got it that far.
Where's the gate? Forget the wood. Forget the path.
Get that brooch then. Get that brooch.
Quick.
I don't think the boys would say that doing a house play is a labour of love. A labour, yes. Love, only rarely, I would think.
Look out! Cap! Go!
I would certainly say that it was a labour of love for certain individuals.
No sooner has the curtain come down than Rob Collins is hoping for a further triumph for the Park House.
Your German sounds better and better, and almost all of you, except Ben, know the words.
The eve of the Glees and Twelves, and the stage is set for the closest of contests.
Still the bells ring again and again, with the tramp of the 22.